I'm coming. I'm coming. Show me. Show me. Thinks because he has four legs. It's funny to run faster than me. But this is the magnetized sand that grounded up with the silk in the water then will formulate the strongest and most um, renewable building material that self-regulates temperature but also hypoallergenic, doesn't elicit any type of uh, immune reaction, is stronger than steel. The fibers are all natural elements. And then because this is an electromagnetic field that also acts like basically just as one big vortex, the process takes such a shorter time. So these structures could be literally like mobilized, and then the turnover time to be able to, for instance, fill this field with these sustainable um, homes, basically the same, size as a mobile tiny house. It would take no time to have an eco village that's already um, utilizing the living structures and the natural um, elements that are already, controlled to this particular ley line and geomagnetic field. And then it would also enrich the like individual who's staying there, the energy that's going into these things and infused. It just is like a bioluminescent response to the pineal gland into, even just if for a weekend retreat, but long term in Minnesota in this particular area, along with the winds, the heat, the humidity, the um, natural elements that are in the air, the water, the sediment, the magnetized sand, the roots of the trees, the sounds that here are um, amplified, and then all that energetic transference from all the natural underground, above ground um, species, but then also with like the um, cooperative cohabitation that is already occurring, where these particular animals want to be a part of this, want to give up their, um, like the spider came to me this morning, and because there's webs and webs of the silk all around everywhere outside of the house, and I know that as far as like a energetic thing, like on a spiritual level, I just thought it was that, but I didn't think twice about going and picking up the um, all these thick webs. I mean, it almost looked like a fence. But then the fiber is stronger than steel. It is in the biomedical field something that naturally rebuilds nerves and different things like that. So it's just all natural proteins going back into the earth, coming from the earth, and everything bouncing back around. But it keeps getting stronger foundationally. So it doesn't matter if, whether you deconstruct it and move it somewhere else, the process is still the same, and it can be replicated because these particular areas already were perfect for this. And different times of the day, understanding that, and being in constant commune with all these different elements is helpful. But like, this is wild clay in a, in an individual sense, it's amazing. But then mixed with the um, water, and then the rehydrating, and then allowing the spider the time to rest, but recreating the same process to be able to use the silk, but then also to be able to use a byproduct for the, mixing and pouring and building blocks of the living structure with that particular material. It's sustainable, it's zero cost. The energy is naturally being made and producing it. It's hardly any downtime, but because this is a geomagnetic field and it's so powerful at certain times, because there's an a underwater, or I guess a river that's this particular piece of land is built on top of, but the currents are actually super forceful for things to happen underground, but then the simultaneously with the sun and the solar panels and then the sound frequencies that would set the, I don't want to call it concrete, but that would set this material so that way basically you would not have to wait. It's very flexible, and but because of the strength and because of the natural fibers that are the silk plus the water, um, and then the natural built-in um, like torch lamps for heat and light, using the wind, and then a small um, a small controlled area to be able to see what's going on with every single um, element because, of course, these living structures grow and they expand and they, you know, different things like that because that's what happens. It's biodiverse, but at the same time, it's nothing's going to be of less quality, and it's not taking much, um, fossil fuel or like energy that is destroying the environment or chemicals or anything like that. Um, it's something that naturally occurs, and when you can do that in that uniformed way, then these animals that were already very impacted by the environment and the energetic sensitivity to all these unnatural things can build their own resilience, and then these spiders are not spiders of prey. They don't create webs to catch their food. you know they have something inside of them that they just spray whatever they want to eat, and it immobilizes them. So they don't, it's there's not a energetic imprint as to, like, you know that's the whole point with the living structure, is that you can grow anything, but the oil from different tree bark um, can be used then to be the fuel to light your um, torch lamp. It works more efficiently than a wood burning stove, things like that. But then also, because it is not quite ceramic, but then it has the silk, that is these particular spiders, you know, it's incredible the way the fiber is, but it's already, the protein is already woven in there with amino acids. And so um, it's not creating any type of blockage to where you can't get circulation, whether you have a window or not. You're getting circulation through the natural minerals and fibers. So your house is able to self regulate its own temperature based upon the outdoor temperature. Um, and then the indoor temperature of the human or whoever is living in there, their body temperature, it automatically syncs with that. And with the sun, with the um, sunset, with the different, if it's raining, the sound frequency. But nothing has to change because it acts in itself. All these little tiny structures would act as a energetic, um, I don't want to say, they would absorb the shock basically that has already been put on the earth, but then they would be able to convert that energy into something that is sustainable, and without having to do anything extra. It's not like money that's necessary or anything like that. It is um, hands, people, different things of that nature, because you have to do it all at one time, um, to make the most of the particular times when the water is um, at its peak. Like, so the river is like two parallel figure eights. So one, like, I noticed that with Angel and myself, where the cracks are in the garage, that's where the um, most force comes, and that's why you see how this is just regular concrete. like the outside, the street, all them cracks and everything. That's exactly what happens, the erosion. But because this particular material, it does not crack because it's made utilizing the water and the natural elements of um, the silk webs from the spider. It's all protein and natural elements, and so it's flexible, but it is also um, as natural as it can be, like a nerve. So it already knows um, what to do with the weathers. They're in constant communication. So with one another, they're elements. So you know, um, it's not throwing anything off. The pH balance, nothing is being thrown off. It's able to naturally thrive. But then the interference from the energetic fields around, from the train, from whatever people driving by, anybody, all that other energy, that particular structures are able to consume that, energy and then um, digest the, what's necessary, the essentials, and then it's able to go on ahead and filter out down back to the earth, to the roots of the trees, um, underground to the soil as fertilizer, all the impurities or all the undigestible energy, chemicals, different things like that that come from unnatural sources of um, the past, and that it automatically heals itself. It works together. It's like super like ancient different things, but then at the same time, it's like I wouldn't have known how strong. Um, you know, I know I had all these spiders. It was random, and but working together, like one spider, creates so much um, silk, and so that is also able to be used as a thread, to sew undergarments or different things like that, um, and to harvest that and to be able to sell it or trade it or whatever is economical, but it's also sustainable and it's ethically sourced, because it's a natural process, but then you're not wasting anything. There's no byproduct that is not able to be redistributed back into um, the universal flow of energy. So then it's always in constant circulation because we live in a regenerative universe. It's always upgrading and enhancing, no matter if the structure is still there or, if this moves to different states with a similar situation or whatever the case is. But I know the individuals who are able to, um, you know, uh, experience this um, for themselves too, even for weekends. It just, um, once these are set up, then, evidence based facts or proof, whatever you want to call it, um, that is enough research to be able to do it on a far larger scale than just filling the field, with these. But, and then, making them bigger so that they could be, different type of buildings, so that it would be like a communal space that would be able to use the same type of blueprint and the same, you know, you're not disturbing anybody's habitat. You're not making anybody feel like they're less than, like, everybody's contributing. Um, but it's being mindful of that and then it's utilizing that, to have things that are, um, like a lot of the fashion um, materials are not ethical. They're not, they're, you know, created by um, a lot of harsh things. And so they create a lot of waste and a lot of different stuff like that or whatever. And but this is something that fits like a glove with your natural body, so there is no bacterial infection or bacterial vaginosis. There is no um, you know, yeast infection. There is no these things like that, to at least with the undergarments specifically. But then even using these as sheets or pillowcases and different things like that, replacing cotton, because um, the turnover is so much easier and it's so greater and it's way more durable. It's like the um, equivalent to steel, but it's for you know it's amazing and I'm grateful. But putting it all together, I'm just one person, but I know that I know that it's worth it because if there's so many homeless people out here, tents they don't. It's so much more elements going on here, but like let's just say the natural elements, here too my I in the winter it's very difficult, but in the rain, oh my gosh, it's hard in the rain in here because this particular materials is breeding ground for millipedes, for mold, for all these different things. But utilizing the living structure and then the natural building materials, it's helps for people who have asthma or autoimmune disorders or different things like that naturally, like without having any plants, without having anything like that. You can add plants definitely, but you wouldn't even need to. Nobody would have to have steroids or different things like this that are, you know, $1 million industries for certain people, and the side effects are are great. But with reverse engineering, the side effects will be great too with these particular places because I know not having to take any type of medicine, being able to breathe, being able to be comfortable, not too hot, not too cold, having a space that is um, a sanctuary, but actually, it's like functional with the water, with all these different elements, recirculating it, it's invigorating, it's gives meaning and purpose, and it's something that I do wish to share because I may have $0 in my pocket right now, but and this is somebody who made millions of dollars doing a lot of different things, but it's nothing in comparison to this. And that is why I'm grateful for the winters and the bugs and everything like that, because once you understand the language of energy, you can work with it. You're not controlling it, you're not doing anything, but once you have that foundation set, like with these particular living structures, it's like no maintenance. It's observation, yes, and understanding how the things work, but it's a simple, you know, um, so you can do what is important to you. You don't have to worry about all these different things. Like you can heal naturally because it's an automatic byproduct. It obviously, it increases your energetic vibrational frequency and the quality of life for everyone. And then it constantly is being invested back and creating this literal energetic profit and a sense of what true divine wholeness really is. Now, that is undefinable. It's just something that you have to experience for yourself. But that is exactly why I started this initiative. And I had so different blueprints to different places. Um, but this is mine. Like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the weekend, gave Drake that one hit. that one album, but it's nothing in comparison to what came after that. And so, I don't um when you sell a blueprint, I'm great at um being able to intuitively, see a system and then understand how it works, and then via system thinking, you know, reverse engineer anything that is necessary. So all of those models are definitely unique, and once you give the rights to other people, then they can tweak and do different things like that. But this particular uh, initiative, it's copyrighted to the universe. It's because that the foundation, that's exactly what it is. That's how come it works. It's You can't try to synthesize it. You can't try to do anything. It has to be this for this particular thing to work. And so that is why um I'm sharing this like directly via my own soul signature. And you know I'm not worried about anything. I know that everybody who is going to be um, the greatest possible community of people, places, things, resources is automatically going to be magnetized and drawn into this. But um, the spiders, they are um, particularly sensitive to sound. But it's like a whole bunch of scientific things that I shared some videos if you wanted to look at the scientific aspects of, spider silk. But I talk directly to them. It's a spiritual experience, but I am different. So, it's like simple for me, but I understand why people think and see and assume things without asking, and then they try to recreate something. And that is what is this like domino effect of all these reverberations of like energetic transference that, have repelled so many different things for me, because I have to go backwards and understand because you know, that's the whole point. It's about um, reversing these old footprints that were that are no longer um, effective or efficient or in the greatest and highest good of anybody, but especially the unseen. And so that's why this is important for me, because that's part of my particular stewardship here, to bridge that gap and to understand and to um, words can't even express it, but the spiders are attuned to um certain codes, like they their webs actually break down because they're protein, and so they're a mixture of these things that we have within us. And so it's like a DNA genetic code that goes in, but it also equates to, the value of certain notes, like musical notes. And so it's you got to get it right the first time, and then nature will do the rest. And so that's why I'm saying this in particular, um, because it's can't be done by anybody else. And otherwise it will be very, very destructive. And so I understand that by me sharing this with you all and signing, my name on the dotted line, I don't have to worry about that. But this is something I'm passionate about. I have been working on this for a while. There's no better lady for the job. But everything has a purpose, like the tone, the octave, the length of the video. what's going on in the background, the time of day. All these things are evoking different energetic responses that trigger these things within the sanctuary because there's still things going on, you know, aside from me recording this video or, you know, putting the little things together that I was doing. It's a whole ecosystem above, below, around that is um, the source of all these things, the power source, the food source, the um, you know, the teachers of this innovative way of life. And sometimes it gets noisy. Sometimes the energy in the environment um, is noisy. And it's like the things that people don't understand is that energy speaks volumes, but it's like invisible. It's like, uh, you know, carbon dioxide, you know, or it's like that good oxygen, you know, at the casino. Like either way it goes, like the if you have your individual energy field like attuned with this natural ecosystem, then all you have to do is be still. And then the entire environment, it will shift to that particular frequency. So you don't have to worry about being knocked off by anything that's going on around invisibly, um, or fearful, or whatever the case is, or have all these diseases or body parts that need to be removed and all this stuff because it's just an energetic blockage from energy that's stuck to you from your external environment, like chemicals, like getting stuck in people's airwaves, or like toxins from the contaminated water and lead that's in the pipes and different things like that that nobody tells you. The microscopic um, biology that is or was overgrowing and contaminating this entire um, this entire state. At least I know for a fact. But like the agriculture, the land, the water, everything was just recirculating this yeast infection from the animals to the things humans consume to everything. Everybody had brain fog, so much brain fog. It was just, but it was in their own way, and it was, you know, nobody knows systems better than me. So like putting all these things together and talking to these um, wonderful animals because they mirror back to us what our deficiency is. And then that way you can see and go backwards and reverse engineer to see how these elements are reacting, you know, together. And so by testing the soil, by seeing all these things, by um, working around the clock, and by having literal, real life disease and disabilities and mold poisoning and all these things that occurred, um, epilepsy in the dog, like, you know, all these reverberations from just a unconscious way of forcing things to go together or trying to create a profit. Like getting blood from a turnip is not worth it. Not worth it. But like once that shift is acknowledged, then it's noticeable. It's like you don't even gotta convince anybody. You know, you feel the difference. You feel a difference because when energy is moving, it's always in motion. It's always in motion. Like whether or not it's stuck inside your gallbladder and it's like pounding, pounding, pounding to get out, it's moving. And that's what happened. I don't drink, but I had pancreatitis for over a year. I almost died in jail. Hennepin County Jail. It wasn't until I went to jail in California for another year that they were able to go ahead and do all these tests and everything to see that it wasn't an ulcer like I thought. I thought it was a bleeding ulcer. Uh, it wasn't at all. But nobody took my blood. Nobody, but I couldn't poop for months at a time. I went septic. Like everything was going on, but you know, I see how the chain of events had to happen in order for these things to occur. And so now, like that, the dust is cleared. It's monumental, and I know that all these irreversible things that they said I would never recover from. I did, like without medicine, without drugs, without these things, um, in utilizing energy, like unconsciously, consciously, intentionally, it was a journey thus far. I'm 36, but it's for everyone. It's not just for one particular gender or a species or a time zone. It's like literally the building blocks to everything. And once you understand that, and like your basic needs are met, like with these particular living structures, they are not only renewable resources and sustainable housing, and the process is a learning experience. So it also provides, you know, not only educational value in, um, you know, the entire innovative way that um, each unique, you know, um, each unique body, I guess, like with the construction, with or housing, with from like a social standpoint, like the quality of life and the equity of people, like automatically go up. Like you can't have a pride of ownership, but you can, definitely have a sense of oneness and divine wholeness and working with, not disempowering, but it's a whole different way of life. It's not a religion. It's like literally every aspect, everything you're putting in your body, everything you're putting out of your body, everything that is outside of you, everything that's within you. It's like constantly um, promoting this natural occurrence of this energy to move itself, so that it aligns with the greatest possible outcome for everyone in each interaction. But like in an individual, like regardless of what happens with this video, this is something that I needed in this now moment. And my attention is focused in the energetic uh, harnessing of this power. It doesn't go anywhere. It's being projected out to the universe, and then there it's invested. And so anybody who can pick up these same type of frequencies can use this and create big things, because this is big energy. But then when I'm ready, to call it back and utilize it in whatever way that I can do that, then it's everybody's energy plus, my energy, woven together. And so that amplifies the power, the intention, the reach, and so that is like the instant gratification as well as these squirrels are funny. I have not fed them, so you know what? Let me get to that. But I appreciate your guys' time. And it was so great doing this live. I am terrible at looking at the comments and like typing in, having my clear train of thought. So I'll go back and I will look into that, and then I will respond to them individually. Have a wonderful day.